King Nebuchadnezzar made a golden statue 90 feet high and 9 feet wide, and set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then he sent messages to all the princes, governors, captains, judges, treasurers, counselors, sheriffs, and rulers of all the provinces of his empire to come to the dedication of his statue. When they had all arrived and were standing before the monument, a herald shouted out, "O God of all nations and languages, this is the king's command. When the band strikes up, you are to fall flat on the ground to worship King Nebuchadnezzar's golden statue. Anyone who refuses to obey will immediately be thrown into a flaming furnace." So when the band began to play, everyone, whatever his nation, language, or religion, fell to the ground and worshiped the statue. But some officials went to the king, and he accused some of the Jews of refusing to worship. "Your Majesty," they said to him, "you made a law that everyone must fall down and worship the golden statue when the band begins to play, and that anyone who refuses will be thrown into a flaming furnace. But there are some Jews out there, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whom you have put in charge of Babylonian affairs, who have defiled you, refusing to serve your gods or to worship the golden statue you set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar, in a terrific rage, ordered Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to be brought in before him. "Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you are refusing to serve my gods or to worship the golden statue I set up? I'll give you one more chance. When the music plays, if you fall down and worship the statue, all will be well. But if you refuse, you will be thrown into a flaming furnace within the hour, and what God can deliver you from that."
No matter what you do to us, our God will deliver us.
No matter, we will not serve your God or any of your people.
So then Nebuchadnezzar was filled with fury, and his face became dark with anger at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He commanded that the furnace be heated up 7 times hotter than usual. And he called for some of the strongest men of his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So they bound them and threw them in, and they fell into the furnace. Because the king in his anger had demanded such a hot fire in the furnace, the flames leaped up and killed the soldiers as they threw them in. So Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego fell down bound in the roaring flame. But suddenly, as he was watching, Nebuchadnezzar jumped up in amazement, and he exclaimed to the advisors, "Didn't we throw 3 men into the furnace? I see 4 men unbound walking around in the fire, dancing around in the fire." And the people said, "Yes, we did indeed, Your Majesty." And Nebuchadnezzar said, "Well, look, I see 4 men unbound, walking around in the fire, and they aren't even hurt by the flames. And the 4th looks like a god." Then Nebuchadnezzar came as close as he could to the open door of the flaming furnace, and he yelled, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come out here." So they stepped out of the fire. Then the princes, governors, captains, and counselors crowded around them and saw that the fire hadn't touched them. Not a hair of their head was singed, their coats were unscorched, and they didn't even smell like smoke. Then Nebuchadnezzar said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, for he sent his angel to deliver his trusting servants when they had defiled the king's commandment and were willing to die rather than serve or worship any god except their own. Therefore I make this decree. Any person of any nation, language, or religion who speaks a word against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be torn limb from limb and his house knocked into a heap of rubble. for no other God can do what he does. Then the king gave promotions to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, so that they prospered greatly in the province of Babylon. The end. Thank you very much.